Hello, bowlers and friends, and welcome to my secret underground laboratory. That's right. Today I'm coming to you live from my basement. And we're going to head into the pro shop for a very special video today. So this is the pro shop, and in my spare time, I like to drill a few bowling balls, as you can see. So, let's go past the spinner. And this is what we're going to use, my newest addition. Had this for about 7 months now. I've been drilling my own stuff. I did not drill all those balls myself. So, let's take a look at what ball we are going to drill today. The Thing by Dynathane. This brand new high-performance ball features a hybrid version of the Soaker cover stock found on the Element. This hybrid cover is 1 part solid and 1 part pearl, and it is wrapped around the triple density core, which is symmetrical with an RG of 2.53 and a differential of 0.045. Let's go ahead and take a look at this ball before we lay it out. There we go. Pretty nice looking ball. Foresee some good things out of this one. See what I did there? Now, anyone watching this is going to know that there are 2 main popular ways to lay out bowling balls. You've got the dual angle layout system and the vector layout system, or VLS. I used the dual angle system for a very long time, but once I committed to VLS, that is now my preferred method. However, this ball came with the Dynathane advanced drilling instructions. So we're an advanced player. Let's dive into these. They give us 4 options here. And I think I'm going to go with layout number 3. Now it says, note, this is a high flare layout that should only be used by low rev players seeking maximum ball reaction. I think it'll be fine. All right, so let's get started. Let you guys see what I'm doing here. We're going to follow right along with this drill sheet. Okay. It says locate the mass bias and mark the spot with an MB. All right. So I know how to locate the mass bias in a symmetrical ball. I've been doing this long enough. Put a line through the CG, starting at the pin. 6 3/4. There we go. And it says we have to write MB. So hey, I'm not gonna argue with Phil Cardinale. All right, there's our MB. Can you see that? Right there. Okay. Remember that the mass bias is a fine-tuning device used by advanced players. Well, I'm definitely an advanced player, so we're on our way. All right, place the major pin. I guess that's the pin. 3 3/8 from the PAP. I can do that. Got my layout tool here. The Storm, what do they call this? The arc ruler. 3 3/8, huh? We can do that. Let's see. Switch pencils. So 3. Well, this only has quarters. We'll make an adjustment. We'll make sure it's 3 3/8. All right. So there's our arc. All right, 3 3/8. And then it says, locate the mass bias halfway between the player's ball track and PAL. I have many questions. What is the PAL? Well, this says perpendicular axis line. PAL. I'm going to imagine that's the same as the vertical axis line. I don't know who wrote this. How am I supposed to know where my ball track is? I haven't even finished laying the ball out yet. Well, I guess I'm not as advanced enough of a player to figure that out. So what I'm going to do is just use my own knowledge of the VLS system and finish laying this thing out myself. So we'll have a mostly advanced layout here. All right, that looks pretty good to me. The layout I ended up with in VLS terms is 3 3/8 by 4 5/8 by 1 127 1/28. Or if you're not quite as precise as me, that would be 3 3/8 by 4 5/8 by 2. In terms of dual angle, it would be 36 by 3 3/8 by 36. And the last part says, place the extra hole, if necessary, on the player's PAP. Well, wait a minute here. It's illegal to put an extra hole. So, I guess I'm just going to ignore that part. Alright, and I like to scribe my stuff, so let's put that on there and then we're going to drill. Okay, now we've got the Dynathane, the Thing. Brand new ball. And of course, what we got to do is compare it to a couple other balls. So let's see what we're going to use for this comparison. The Rotogrip RST Hyperdrive and the Storm Tropical Surge Solid. So let's take these three balls to the lanes and see how they stack up together. Before we get started throwing shots, let's talk about the oil pattern. I'm not sure what exactly I'm bowling on here. I'm just open bowling at my local center on whatever is out there. So I'm just going to show a visual representation of what I feel like I'm bowling on whenever I bowl league at any center in my area. Every center around here has 20-plus-year-old synthetic lanes, so I see hook in the fronts from the wear of the track area, obviously only on the right side. To compensate, places use longer patterns for their house shot, because I guess people don't know the difference between long oil and heavy oil. So while the lefties just roll out of bat and average 240, what we end up with is an outrageous cliff with a ratio somewhere in the neighborhood of infinity to 0. Let's see what we can come up with to combat this near impossible pattern. Alright, let's see what this ball could do. Those who know me or follow my channel know I am still recovering from a biceps injury, so I've been wearing this compression sleeve. It seems to be working fine so far. I'm not seeing any negative impact from wearing it. I start by throwing a few shots on top of the friction while I get loose. You'd always rather see your ball overhook while warming up so you can be confident in trusting it later. Whoa! You can see the thing struggling a bit to pick up even in the hard friction. Well, Maybe that silk or cover stock just needs a few shots to get broken in. I did not feel the need to knock off the factory shine with a sanding pad, but that's something I could consider in the future. Here I decide to ball up to the Tropical Surge Solid, and right away I get my first career trip 4. I've been bowling for over 40 years, and I finally tripped a 4-pin, and I must say, it is definitely as fun as it looks when other people do it. You can see right away that the Tropical Surge Solid picks up significantly earlier than the Thing, and has excellent continuation through the pin deck. But that is to be expected since this is such a high performance ball, and it comes with such a hefty price tag. Not everyone is going to want to pay this much for a bowling ball, and I totally understand that. Let's also take a look at the RST Hyperdrive. This one is just way too early for what I'm bowling on. You can visibly see the ball slowing down, which indicates that it is getting traction way sooner than I would want it to. And as a result, it doesn't have much left for the pins, as we can't snap out a single 10-pin on any of these half-pocket hits. While you guys watch me leave tons of weak 10s, I just want to mention that if you like the jersey I'm wearing and you'd like to get one for yourself, well, it's a black t-shirt. Go buy one. And when we finally get the hyperdrive deeper into the pocket, we go drive-by 9-pin, followed immediately by a 4-9. Well, at least that's a relatively easy spare. I'd certainly rather shoot that than a 6-10. And here we finally strike. Thank goodness. Let's put this ball away and save it for nationals or something. Let's go back to that Tropical Surge Solid here. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Look at this ball get back. If I was bowling in this environment for score, this is definitely the ball I'd want to be using. Thank goodness I'm enough of a snob to pay such an outrageous price for one bowling ball. Even as I keep chasing it deeper on the lane, I'm still able to get it to recover and continue driving through the pins and strike. This ball is amazing. Now, let's see just for fun what happens if I get it a little wide and go around the pattern a bit. Whoa! See what I tell you about that cliff. Back to the Thing again, and here we leave the dreaded 7-10 split. Now just for fun, let's try to pick it with the Thing. It is 16 pounds, so we might have a chance. Come on, get a bounce. Whoa! Yeah, that was actually a pretty reasonable attempt. It would have been so amazing to make that on video. As we start to wind down here with the Thing, we're going to get a fairly unconvincing strike, followed by a wrap 10, and finally the obligatory drive-by 9-pin. But after that, I'm going to show you a shot that really demonstrates what the Thing can do. Watch how much down lane continuation it produces as it just drives right through the 3-6 pocket. This next shot we don't quite get around the corner, which is unfortunate. But at least that gives us a chance to practice this spare. Watch this perfect conversion. Now, before we finish up, there's one more thing I want to try. Don't tell anyone, but I've been secretly working on my two-handed game. I'm not quite ready to make the change full-time yet, but you never know. Not quite what we're looking for on this shot, but it's hard to blame the ball for this one. I think I got a tiny bit too steep with my launch angle. You can see me sliding on 35 and ball crosses the arrows at around 4. This next shot is much better, as it gets at least twice as far down the lane before going into the gutter. It's just amazing how much rapid improvement you could see immediately upon switching to two-handed. And my last shot, we get it up the lane, and this really shows what a huge advantage it is to bowl two-handed. Look at this incredible back-end motion I'm able to generate. That is just beautiful. This turned out pretty good. I wonder if Dynathane would like it enough to let me be on their staff. Was there a phone number on that drill sheet? Here we go, nice! Let's give them a call.
Hello, thank you for calling Assembly Pinecone Incorporated. We pine on your dime. How can I help you?
Yes, hello. May I please speak to Phil Cardinale?
I'm sorry, who?
Phil Cardinale, the owner of Dynathane Bowling Products?
Listen, young man. Here at Assembly Pinecone Incorporated, our time is valuable. If you do not have a legitimate pinecone emergency, please get off the line so we can help someone who does.
Pinecone emergency?
Good day!
Yikes, that didn't go so well. I'll try again after my next video. In conclusion, if you are a bowler who throws bowling balls down a bowling lane to knock down bowling pins, you need the thing in your bag. Whatever you're doing right now, today, the day this video is posted, drop everything and go to your local pro shop. Tell them you want a Dynothane, the thing, and have them drill it 3 3/8 by 4 5/8 by 1 127 1/28. You won't regret it. Thank you for watching Biff's Ball Reviews. This is Joe Biff Bowling wishing you many clean frames or whatever. Man, this ball stinks. Maybe I can sell it after enough people watch this video. I could probably at least get enough to pay for the Joe Po outer. Open up, you filth! What the? It's you! I'm not the least bit sorry for disturbing you, sir. My name is Sean, and I'm with the Integrity Police. Okay. We received a report that you made a harassing phone call to some kind of acorn distributor. Is this true? Well, first of all, it was pine cone, but it was just a bit. I was doing a ball review from a ball from over 20 years ago, and I pretended to call the number of a company that no longer exists and try to get on staff. I didn't even actually call. I just used my voice to pretend to answer it. I see. Well, that's very quaint, sir. Well, thank you. You have yourself a wonderful, integrity-filled day. All right, I'll do just that. Stop right there! Don't move! What ball is that over there? Is that a purple hammer? Yes. Did you know it is a Class 4 integrity violation to be in possession of one of those bowling balls? No, I didn't. But it's the pink pin. It's not one of those 62 hardness Kentucky green pin purple hammers. Don't argue semantics with me! And what else is that over there? Is that a plastic water bottle? Yes. I've seen enough! You're under arrest for obstruction of integrity! Turn around and put your hands behind your back! Wait, what? You will respect my integrity!